Well, your morning routine as a trader is very important to get ready for the trading day. The things that you look for and get a feel for the market are very important for the rest of the day and how you trade. Our guest today is Linda Raschke to talk about her routine. So Linda, how do you prepare for the markets in the morning?
Well, first of all, I always try to have my homework done the night before, my plan the night before, and then, of course, first thing I'll do when I get up is usually check the markets just to see where they're trading so I can get a baseline reading. Because ultimately I hop in a car and go to the office nowadays. My office isn't right next door, even though it's just a 5-minute ride. Two things. First of all the opportunity comes in the morning sessions, and you know, I usually start at 6 a.m. Central Time. So 7 a.m. Central Time is a big pickup in activity in the markets. So if I'm watching it a little bit beforehand, it helps get a feel. Also, when you're trading, it's a performance-oriented discipline. So the more you can eliminate distractions and get yourself into a ritual or groove right away, I think you're better able to concentrate. And that's really the key, is being able to concentrate right off the bat. And the more you can do something consistently the same way, the easier it is to slip into that zone, if you will. So for me, it's always important that I eat a big breakfast. I always have a giant bowl of oatmeal or a couple eggs, and you know, that really only takes 5 minutes, but you got to fuel the body and got to fuel the brain. That's so important. People sit there and think they're going to make it on a bagel or something, and it just doesn't work that way. So it's really important to have some good nutrition, and just make sure you're in a calm space. You've got your stuff around you, your trade sheet or your game plan, and just not try to think about too much of anything. You know, you don't want to go so crazy drinking coffee or something. You're going to have to run to the bathroom right after the opening bell, you know. So I think it's everybody kind of finds their own routine for themselves. But do eat a good breakfast. Do have your homework done the night before. Try and have a space where you're not going to be distracted, or kids knocking on the door, or phones ringing, or that type of stuff.
Let's talk about that homework. When you talk about homework, what are you doing? What are you looking for there?
Well, for me, what I'll do is I'll go through the markets that I trade, and I simply look at, do I want to trade it from the long side, or do I want to trade it from a short side the next day? I try to keep it really simple. Or is there some little coil pattern where the possible breakout? So I just make a note of these things on my sheet. It really only takes me about 30 minutes to go through each market, and then I'll step back and look at the big picture time frames and say, well, you know, is there any chance we're putting in a type of double bottom or double top, or is there more significant chart formation? So I'll approach it, you know, what am I going to do for the next day, and is there some significant chart formation on the big picture that I need to be aware of?
When you set your bias, or if you have a bias for if it's long or short, or which way the market is going that day, will you stick with that for the whole day, or will you transition? If the market tells you it is turning around, you'll turn around trading, maybe go short instead of long that day?
No, you have to be flexible. You have to be able to change your game plan right away. And my old comment is that if you have a game plan, you know it's the wrong game plan too. So therefore, it's easier to correct it. It's much better to have an idea, and then right away you'll know if that's wrong. So for example, let's say the market's been up for 2 days, and I come in thinking, all right, you know, I'm looking to short the market if there's an early rally, because it's a little bit overdone. You know, and it can pull back to in the middle of yesterday's trading range. So that might be what I'm thinking in my plan. However, in the overnight action, it may well be that the market sold off, Europe sold off, the DAX is down, and instead we're gapping down, in which case I'll be like, well, I'll see if there's still a rally to short, you know, but it could also be that we gap down and we're making our lows first, and we're going to trend higher for the day and close at our highs. So you have to work with the market.
And then finally, will you choose the market you're going to focus on most for that day before the day starts?
Yeah, I always watch the index futures because they're so correlated with the currencies and the financials, and there's really been a ton of market correlation for the last 2-3 years. So if it's in a liquidation mode, you know, if the S&Ps are selling off, you'll probably have liquidation in some other markets as well. But yeah, I'll go through my 25 markets and try and single out 4 or 5 that might have the can't miss trades on them. And sometimes I won't touch a market for 2 months if it's just not interesting.
Linda, thanks for your time.
You're welcome.
You're watching the MoneyShow.com video network.